Trigger warning. The presentation being conducted past this point may contain triggering and/or sensitive material for some. Detailed physical assault and crime scene photography will be discussed and displayed.
In fair Los Angeles, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. This quote should hopefully sound familiar to most of you. I truly hope all of you. It's from the prologue of Romeo and Juliet. No, I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about two Shakespearean star-crossed lovers who couldn't live without each other, but instead, the events of a brutal murder and how one man was acquitted of it all.
My name is Selena Marie Celej, and I'm here to talk with all of you about the O.J. Simpson murder trial. I am currently a paralegal working in the criminal defense field and a true crime junkie. I've sat through my fair share of murder trials and know the ropes. I've also watched the original O.J. trial along with the dramatization, The People vs. O.J., and read several books and articles on the matter.
I believe the O.J. Simpson murder trial is still relevant in today's society for two reasons. Reason number one being that it was a nationally broadcasted trial that showed a black man being acquitted of not one, but two murders in the first degree. The second reason being that it proves something to women. That is, that women, no matter what, must always stay vigilant and look out for themselves. After looking through all of my materials, watching the trials, and looking at the evidence, I believe that even if O.J. Simpson is guilty, the only reason he was acquitted was because of his attorney dream team.
For the duration of the speech, I'm going to talk about three parts of the trial. The first being the murders of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman. The second being the famous car chase and arrest of O.J. Simpson. The third is the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson and the court proceedings. Let's start off by looking at the murders of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman. The night of June 12, 1994 would be the start of the biggest murder trial the world had ever seen. This was the night that Nicole Brown and her friend and speculated lover Ronald Goldman would be found brutally stabbed to death outside of her LA condominium.
Dr. Michael Baden, who is the forensic pathologist that testified during the O.J. Simpson murder trial, speculated that Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman put up quite the fight before their grisly and untimely demise. Nicole Brown was stabbed a total of 7 times in the face and neck, with the last blow slicing her left and right carotid arteries. Her friend Ronald Goldman met a worse fate. He was stabbed a total of 22 times in the face, neck, chest, and abdomen area. When police arrived at Bundy, which is what Nicole's residence was referred to as, they found a treasure trove of evidence leading to who they thought was the killer. They found hair evidence on a ball cap and t-shirt that matched O.J. Simpson's. They also found Ford Bronco carpet fibers in the cap, Ford Bronco being the car that O.J. Simpson drove. There is also blood evidence found next to a size 12 Magali shoe print on the getaway path, size 12 being the size that O.J. wore, and Magali being a type of shoe he owned. The last bit of evidence that was found at Bundy was Ari's light leather glove, size extra large. When police left the scene at Bundy, they went to Rockingham, which is what O.J.'s residence is referred to as, to alert him of the death of his ex-wife. On arrival, police found blood in his Ford Bronco, foyer, master bedroom, and on a pair of his socks that all matched the victim's DNA. The coup de grace of evidence, though, was the Ari's Light size 12 leather glove.
As it stands with the evidence found and information given by Encyclopedia Britannica and the New York Times, O.J. Simpson was guilty on all counts of first-degree murder. O.J. was found to be a possible suspect after DNA testing confirmed the blood and hair found at the crime scene was a match. He was then going to be charged with 2 counts of murder. The chase and arrest of Orenthal James Simpson. O.J. Simpson had hired Robert Shapiro as his original attorney before the Dream Team had assembled. Shapiro had struck a deal with the DA's office in LAPD for O.J. Simpson to turn himself in to LAPD on June 17, 1994.
Once it became apparent to the LAPD and the DA's office that they could not trust the defense to do things in a timely manner, they declared O.J. Simpson as a fugitive and had an arrest warrant put out for him. At around 6:45, good friend and former teammate A.C. Cowlings was seen driving down the interstate with O.J. in tow. The interstates were lined with fans screaming and cheering for O.J., but inside of A.C. Cowlings' Ford Bronco was a different scene. Despite the fact that A.C. Cowlings was being chased by a fleet of police cars and helicopters, he would not pull over for the fact that he was scared that a gun-wielding O.J. Simpson would take his own life. Eventually, A.C. and O.J. made it back to Rockingham, where after negotiations with the police, O.J. surrendered himself, getting out of A.C.'s Ford Bronco, clutching a photo of his family.
The chase was broadcasted everywhere and even took place of the New York Knicks and Houston Rockets game. This was just the beginning of the media broadcasting the world's most famous murder trial. On January 24, 1995, just 6 short months after the murders of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman had occurred, O.J.'s trial began. The people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. By the time O.J. Simpson had assembled the Dream Team, a group of independently hired lawyers consisting of Ben Carson, Robert Shapiro, and Robert Kardashian. Ben Carson eventually became the lead attorney on the case who pushed a story of racism being the cause of O.J. being tried.
The prosecution, led by Marcia Clark, presented a case based around the abusive relationship that Nicole Brown and O.J. Simpson had with one another, stating that once O.J. Simpson had come home after his daughter's dance recital, he listened to a voicemail from his then-current girlfriend stating she wanted to break up. The prosecution then speculates that O.J. Simpson went to Nicole's house to try to reconcile the relationship. Once she denied, an enraged O.J. killed her as his last act of control. The defense and prosecution faced many challenges during the trial, from losing witnesses to making court time exceptions, to conflicting timelines and statement from witnesses. All of this made it hard for the prosecution to paint the picture they wanted. The deciding factor for the jury, though, was when Ben Carson tried to fit that one Aurie's light leather glove size extra large on O.J. Simpson's hand, and it didn't fit.
This trial would be the longest in history, lasting with a sequestered jury for a total of 265 days, with the ultimate decision being that Orenthal James Simpson be acquitted of all charges. I believe, after looking through all of my materials, watching the trial, and looking at the evidence throughout the entire case, that O.J. Simpson was only acquitted of these charges because of his attorney Dream Team. Throughout this speech, we've looked at the entire timeline of the O.J. Simpson murder trial, starting at the gruesome murders of his ex-wife Nicole Brown and her friend Ronald Goldman, to a man who was deemed guilty being acquitted of all charges. The most famous quote from this trial being from Ben Carson: "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." He's talking about the Aurie's Light leather glove, size extra large. Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty.